Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a quadratic regression in your TI84. So the first thing you need to do is enter your points. You do that in your stat editor. So you can see that in this third row and the third column is the key stat. Press enter, and we are going to edit our stat lists. So you want to choose option 1. And you might have some data in here, as I do. If you do, what you need to do is tab up and then press clear. Press clear and then enter. So that will clear out the list so you can enter your new data. Now I'm going to leave my data in here since I now have 3 points. In your L1, you enter your X coordinates. In your L2, you enter your Y coordinates. So you can see I have the points 1, 1, 2, 11, 3, 25. And what I'd like to do now is fit a quadratic equation to those points. So to do that, I'm going to quit out of my stat lists. And to do that, you're going to press the second button and the mode button. See how in blue it says quit above it? So when you press the second key, it does the command that is in blue. So second quit, it's going to get me back to the home screen. And now I am ready to run my quadratic regression. So we will press stat, tab over to where it says calculate, and you'll notice that option 5 says quad reg. That stands for quadratic regression. I'm going to choose option 5, and it defaults to your X list being in L1 and your Y list being in L2. Now, if you have an older TI84, you will not see the screen, but instead you will enter L1, then a comma, L2, and then enter. So if you need to enter any lists, you'll notice, do you see how L1 is above the 1? I could press second and the 1 key, and it will just put L1 in there for me. For us that have an updated calculator, you are going to tab down to where it says calculate and press enter. And now for that quadratic equation that I wanted to fit, it's 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. Now that's really nice. If I want to graph that, I'd actually have to enter that into my calculator in my Y1, and you'll notice I have nothing in here at the moment. Now I'm going to show you how to run the regression and store the equation in your Y1 without having to type it in. So let's quit out of my Y1, and I will show you. And I'm going to record the buttons that I press so that you can take note. So I want to run a quadratic regression and store that equation in my Y1. To do that, I start the same way I did before. To do the quadratic regression, I press stat. I tab to where it says calculate. And again, option 5, quad reg. Now, I still have my X coordinates in L1. I still have my Y coordinates in L2. Frequency list, that's if I have a different number of points and I'm only listing each once. In general, we're not going to do that. But the next part here where it says store reg equation. So I'd like to store that equation in my Y1. Now, if you don't have the screen, you're going to, again, put L1, comma, L2, and what I put next is going to be separated by a comma between L2 and here. So it would go L1, L2, and now what I'm going to do, separated by commas. So to store it, you are going to press the vars key, tab over to where it says y-vars because I'm going to put it in my y equals. And we're putting a function in. So you're going to choose option 1. Then you are going to choose the equation you'd like it to store it. So I'm going to pick y1. I want it to be the first equation in there. And now that I have that there, I'm going to tab to where it says calculate and enter. And it seems as if nothing really changed. I have my A is 2, my B is 4, my C is -5. But if I now press Y equals, you will see that that equation was stored in my Y1. Now, it looks like it's not just 2, but this is a rounding error, which really won't make any difference. Now, if I press graph, let's see what happens. Let's go zoom 6. So that is the parabola that's predicted by my points. I'd kind of like to see where those points fall on that parabola. So to do that, I will press second y equals. Do you see how it says stat plot there? I'd like to plot those points on that graph and see how it fits. So if I press second and the y equals, you'll notice that this first stat plot is off. I'm going to turn it on by pressing enter, and then I'm going to press enter on the word on so it highlights it. This next part here means that I'm going to plot points, so make sure that's highlighted. If not, press enter on that spot by tabbing down. And my X list and my Y list default to L1 and L2. And then I'm going to mark it with this dot here in the color blue. All of that is fine. So now let's press graph and see what that looks like. Looks like I can just see this one point here. Let's see if I can change the window on my screen. Right now it goes from -10 to +10 on the X, from -10 to +10 on the Y. There's a function in my calculator that will set up my window very nicely for the points that I have in my stat list. To do that, you press zoom, and then do you see option 9 here, stat? And now I can see, look, these points that I had in my regression equation work perfectly. They are exactly on that curve. Now you know how to fit a regression equation to points. I just want to show you very quickly on my calculator. You might have noticed that I had this strange thing there that said R squared. And what this means, it's something that tells me about the goodness of fit of my regression equation. And perfect is a 1. So the closer this value gets to 1, the better fit that it is. So if you do not see that, it's because you do not have the diagnostics on your calculator. You don't really need to do that for what we're doing now, but I'd like to show you how to get it, because once you turn the diagnostics on, it will stay on and you'll never really have to do it again. So quickly, let me show you that. I'm going to quit out of the screen, second quit. Now, I'd like to find that place where I'm going to turn on the diagnostics. You'll notice right above the 0 says catalog. Well, all of my commands in my calculator are located in that catalog. So I'm going to press second 0, and you'll notice everything shows up here. I am going to tab down quite a ways to the D's where it says diagnostics. There's a lot of functions in here. And it can be diagnostics off or diagnostics on. If you did not see the R squared, you have the diagnostics off. Tab to where it says diagnostics on, press enter, and then enter again. And now you'll see that goodness of fit, which again, you don't really need right now, but it's kind of nice information to have. And there you have it. That is how you run a regression, a quadratic regression, and plot the points and see how your equation fits those points by graphing the curve and storing that equation in your Y1. Have a nice day.